to Walmart customer service. I am a longtime supporter of the Walmart brand. It has, for decades, been my neighborhood store, and I always know that there's a high likelihood that it can be my one-stop shop when I have a variety of needs. Prices on groceries and household goods are always competitive. And generally speaking, you do usually seem to have just about everything. I could go on about the positive attributes of your retail chain, but unfortunately, this is a letter of complaint. I recently visited Walmart store 3297 because I was looking for some orchid mix. I went to your garden center and found the outdoor section where the bags of soil are stored. I didn't see any specialty soils there, so I was going to go inside and ask for assistance when I noticed a rack of potted plants nearby. They didn't look at all healthy, and it piqued my curiosity, so I went for a closer look. The rack was full of Angelonia, and upon further inspection, they all appeared to be quite dead. As was appropriate, they had reduced prices. And there was a label on each that said clearance, $1. I was not interested in purchasing any dead Angelonia, but I was in need of some spare plastic pots of that size. $1 seemed a bit much to me for a plastic pot, so I thought I would at least ask if I might be able to purchase them for a lower price. I took one of the pots and headed inside. Immediately past the doors, I found a clerk named Roger, who greeted me enthusiastically. I showed him the dead plant and asked if he thought it would be possible if the price could be further reduced. If you would be willing to accept 25 cents for each pot, I said, I'd be happy to purchase your entire supply of them. Oh, you'd have to talk to a manager about that, Roger said. What you want to do is go to the customer service desk and ask for Lakeisha. She might be willing to cut you a deal, he added with a wink. So, toting one of the dead Angelonia, I made the trek over to customer service. I found the department teeming with activity. There were at least 5 clerks behind the counter and no customers. As I approached, one of them noticed and addressed me right away. Yes, hi, I said. I'm looking for Lakeisha. Lakeisha, she trailed off, and then turned to a man sitting at the corner of the counter who appeared somewhat managerial and asked, Is she at lunch? What's the problem? The fellow practically barked. The young clerk shrugged and gestured to me. It was clear who I needed to talk to, and I took a few steps over toward the managerial fellow, who, according to his ID tag, was named Matthew. He looked at me and repeated, What's the problem? I don't think there's a problem, I stuttered. I was just looking for Lakeisha. You mean Takesha? He corrected. I'm terribly sorry, I explained. Roger in the garden center told me to ask for Lakeisha, but I guess it's Takesha. Either way, is she? No. She's not here. How can I help you? I held up the dead Angelonia and gave Matthew my whole spiel, ending with, So I was wondering if you might be willing to mark these down further to 25 cents, in which case I'd be happy to buy the whole. No, he said flatly. They were just marked down to $1, and they have to wait 14 days before we can mark them down again. But at that price, if they're not sold within 14 days, they're just going to be disposed of. Oh, I said. I was taken aback, but recovered quickly. So if a customer were here on disposal day, they could. Matthew saw right where I was going. and brought a quick halt to my query. No, we would just put them straight in the compactor. I certainly had no response for that. So I thanked Matthew for his time and went back to the garden center to return the Angelonia to its shelf. I saw Roger on my way, who was curious to know if I'd had any luck. I told him the sad news, ending with, they put everything straight in the compactor. Oh, said Roger. Well, that seems like a waste. I had to agree, and I bid Roger a good day. I did not, however, have a good day, as my experience at your store continued to nag at me. It just didn't make sense. To be clear, I've never operated a 182,000 square foot supercenter, and I have to imagine you have certain corporation-wide policies in place for a reason. What I didn't understand was why your local management might not be permitted to sidestep one of those policies if they saw a fair reason to do so, and it would cause no harm, etc. In this case, Store 3297 could get rid of some inventory that was very most likely simply going to be thrown away. Remove an eyesore from a display area that might otherwise stay there for another 13 days, make for a very happy customer, and also get at least some return on your investment in the Angelonia instead of the $0 that you would get when throwing everything in a compactor. I read with interest on your website about Walmart's sustainability initiatives and how you place nature and people at the heart of your business. This claim would seem to exist in stark contrast with the protocols that are making their way down to the store level, where Matthew indicated that instead a trash compactor was at the core of his store's daily operations. To see your proud claims of 15 years of sustainability leadership and your lasting net positive impact on people and the planet through your products, services, and business practices, while also knowing that your stores are, maybe routinely, taking plastic pots filled with organic matter, compacting them together, and sent to a landfill, well, it just doesn't make a lick sense. Why not, if 14 days elapsed with no buyers, allow an avid local gardener to take this trash away for you, compost the dead plants, reuse the soil to plant healthy new seedlings, and give extended life to the 15 or so plastic pots? After my visit with Matthew, I'm left without answers, but I hope you might have some you can share with me. With all due optimism that that's the case, I greatly look forward to your response. With thanks for your time, J. Hickman.
Thank you, Helen, for reading Why, Walmart, Why. And thank you, Jay Hickman, for standing up for all the gardeners and clearance plants. That's me. Our next story of Van, written by Andrew Cosma and read by Michael Payton.